Wow. Guys, I am freaking blown away by how much I adore Yoshi's Woolly World. I mean, this... Oh my god. So Yoshi's Woolly World is just one of those games that I'm going to look back on the Wii U's legacy and I'm going to be like, oh my god, this system had amazing games. And then I'm going to look at Yoshi's Woolly World and be like, this game represents everything that I love about Nintendo. Just wrapped up beautifully, just knitted beautifully into one game.
Ooga booga! I'm ready and hungry!
Fun is a theme that I've kind of been harping on with the gaming industry lately. I want to play games that feel familiar yet innovate in certain areas, and that's what I'm getting with something like Yoshi's Woolly World. It's just a fun, unique, enjoyable title that just centers on everything that I like in a platformer, in a Nintendo game. It's just enjoyable to play. I mean, the game looks fantastic. I love the fact that there's unevenness within the stitching, and I really like the fact that when you run across the landscape, the ground can move and transform in different ways. It's just beautiful. This actually gives the game a more authentic feel and makes you feel like the game is handcrafted by a human being, not just some random engine that they threw it into and everything's perfect and great and metallic looking. This, along with Hyrule Warriors, are the two games that are going to make me never sell my Wii U. Guys, if you haven't picked up Yoshi's Woolly World yet, please, I implore you. That game is going to be so underrated, and it makes me sad to think about that. But I mean, dear God, just look at that handcraftedness in the cover. I mean, I think my love for this game also kind of trickles down to the timing of this right now, because I am very stressed in this point in my life. I am finishing up college, and I am getting married next year, and I have a few other big life-changing events that are happening. So I think this game came at the right time. So that might be kind of making me a little biased towards it, maybe adding towards my love for this game about how I am very just stressed. I'm constantly going, and I'm busy right now. But then something like Yoshi's Woolly World just trickles along here, and it just pulls me into it with just its childlike graphics and aesthetics, and it just looks beautiful. That, guys, this is the best. I can guarantee you that this is probably the best looking game on the Wii U right now. And something I realized the other day that I just didn't even notice, we haven't had a console Yoshi game since Yoshi's Story on the 64. And we all know how good that game was. Well, I mean, in my eye, it was great, but you might not agree. And it's also nice to see a big company, like a big AAA company out there making a platformer in a world just filled and just smeared with brown and gray shooters and just all these serious dark toned games. It's nice to have something like this just come along and fall into your lap and here I am, play with me.
Oh, that looked like fun!
The gaming industry is just filled to the brim nowadays with games like Assassin's Creed and the Batman Arkham games and Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto. I mean, just too many of these games take themselves a little too seriously nowadays. Even something along the lines of the Super Smash Bros. Community and just the fighting game community in general. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love some fighting games, but calm down, guys. Woolly World is not about competing with others online. It's not about going through every level and having to collect everything. It doesn't throw that in your face. It's not about being the best speedrunner in the universe on this game. It's about laying back, grabbing a controller, gazing at the environment, letting it suck you in, and just having a great time. And it's so upfront about that. Even at something like the title screen, when you open it up, it's just there, has the logo, little leg shake. There's just this nice cinematic camera panning around the world, and you get to see just everything just really slow and melancholy. Don't go into this game if you're looking for a deep, intricate plot that discovers the deeper meaning of what it means to be human and has random subplots included in it as well. I'm gonna let Yoshi describe what the basic plot of this game is.
Yoshi's friends all Koopa-napped. Now only Yoshi can rescue.
Another major thing that I love about this game is yes, it doesn't try to just force collectibles upon you and tell you oh my god, you have to collect these. It's very lenient in that. You can definitely go after the collectibles, and believe me, I am going after everything because I just love this game so much. I cannot get enough of yarn. I'm so in on this game, guys. I love it. I will say this game does feel better if you are being kind of a completionist about it, because its rewards for doing so are very good. For instance, if you beat a level with the 5 packages of yarn, you collect another Yoshi costume. If you get all the flowers within a world, you unlock the special level, which are hard as balls. But I love that about this game. It's not afraid to be cute and fun and then just be hardcore when it needs to be. And while I was saying earlier that this game is all about fun, I do kind of like that juxtaposition for the player that's hey man, if you take Yoshi seriously, play this level. And if you're crying because you can't beat that level, go back and be Moto Yoshi and have a great time.
Get money.
I think it's just nice to have such a relaxed experience with the game for a change, because so many games are all about, oh, be the best on the leaderboard, you gotta play an online multiplayer, you gotta raise the gamer score. It gives me a headache sometimes. Gaming needs more Yoshi Woolly Worlds out there, because in an industry so filled with games that have to be cinematic, games that have to sell millions of copies, games that have to be mature and dark themed because everyone wants to be friggin' Batman. And I love Batman, and there is a time for serious games. But I do miss the 90s, when there was a lot of just unexplained plot points, and just randomness, and unique fun thrown in there, just for the sake of having it. I mean, how else do you explain something like Dr. Eggman? I miss all these kinds of games, and I want more of this back. I get tired of seeing brown gray shooter, brown gray shooter, brown gray shooter, action adventure game that is also brown and gray. That's why I think I like indie games so much, because indie games are filling these holes in the gaming industry that are being left by all these AAA publishers who just want to sell millions of copies, want to cater to only the big core audience, and don't want to focus on some of the more niche genres, and don't want to focus on what kind of got the gaming industry to this point. You know what I mean? Yeah. Don't take this game for granted either. I mean, there is a lot of fresh content packed into this experience. You're gonna get a lot out of this game, but at the same time, it isn't so overbearing and long that it's overwhelming when you're playing the game. It feels just right. The levels are not short. They're short if you just go through and you don't collect a single thing and you're just blazing through because, you know, speedrun god, swag mode, level 420. But that's not how this game is meant to be played, and I love that. They make that pretty upfront. When you're playing it too, they want you to sit back and just gaze at the environments and just take everything in, because it's all about the experience with this game. And I kind of wish more games explored this idea of just relentless fun that Yoshi's Woolly World is so desperately trying to go for, and it achieves it by a long shot. I mean, there are times where I'm just looking up at the TV and I'm just mesmerized by everything I'm looking at, because it is just so obvious that there's so much love and care going into this. And there are so many third-party developers out there nowadays who just don't understand that and just want to pump 4K graphics into everything and make everything look realistic and don't want to focus on like a intricate art style. So I kind of hope Nintendo translate this like good feeling that the players get from this game and put it into some of their other games too, because I don't want them to take things too seriously. I kind of want them to start backing more things like Devil's Third, even if Devil's Third doesn't turn out to be a great game, and you know, from reviews it's kind of mediocre looking.
Are you blind to the suffering?
I still want to play something like that because it's cheesy 80s crazy action fun, and Nintendo is all about that, so you know what, I'm gonna back that, because that's what I want to play nowadays. I don't want to play games that take themselves too seriously. That's why I'm honestly starting to kind of lean back more towards playing Smash with items on, because it's more fun and unpredictable. But again, don't get me wrong, there is a time and a place for serious games. I like really narrative-driven cinematic experiences too. I love the Uncharted games. I love games like Journey. But yeah, there is a time for everything in the gaming industry. I just don't like seeing this overwhelming amount of mature-rated titles that have to be dark and serious and gritty, and they're pulling some of this crap from Hollywood too. And it's just getting to be too much. So yeah, thanks Nintendo. I'm enjoying the crap out of this, as we saw from my unboxing video. Oh my god, look at Poochie! That's it! I'm done! Game's too adorable.